One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Words have a magical power. They can either bring the greatest happiness or the deepest despair. We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exists in our subconscious. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Love and work, work and love, that's all there is. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. We are what we are because we have been what we have been. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. In the small matters, trust the mind. In the large ones, the heart. Psychiatry is the art of teaching people how to stand on their own feet while reclining on couches. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. It is not attention that the child is seeking, but love. The sexual life of adult women is a dark continent for psychology. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. All family life is organized around the most damaged person in it. If you can't do it, give up. I've been a fortunate man in life. Nothing has come easily. The only shame in masturbation is the shame of not doing it well. Everywhere I go, I find that a poet has been there before me. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. If you want your wife to listen to you, then talk to another woman. She will be all ears. A piece of creative writing, like a daydream, is a continuation of, and a substitute for, what was once the play of childhood. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. History is just new people making old mistakes. A father's death is the most important event, the more heartbreaking and poignant loss in a man's life. Crystals reveal their hidden structures only when broken. Anxiety in children is originally nothing other than an expression of the fact they are feeling the loss of the person they love. Two hallmarks of a healthy life are the abilities to love and to work. Each requires imagination. Dreams are the guardians of sleep and not its disturbers. Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. Were we fully to understand the reasons for other people's behavior, it would all make sense. Writers write for fame, wealth, power, and the love of women. In mourning, it is the world which has become poor and empty. In melancholia, it is the ego itself. The Irish are the one race for which psychoanalysis is of no use whatsoever because they already live in a dream world. To be completely honest with oneself is the very best effort a human being can make. The dream is the liberation of the spirit from the pressure of external nature, a detachment of the soul from the fetters of matter. Dreams are constructed from the residue of yesterday. Only the real, rare, true scientific minds can endure doubt, which is attached to all our knowledge. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. When inspiration does not come to me, I go halfway to meet it. All giving is asking, and all asking is an asking for love. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. My love is something valuable to me which I ought not to throw away without reflection. Words and magic were in the beginning one and the same thing, and even today words retain much of their magical power. Knowledge is the intellectual manipulation of carefully verified observations. In the depths of my heart, I can't help being convinced that, my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, where such men love they have no desire, and where they desire they cannot love. I have never doubted that religious phenomena are only to be understood on the pattern of the individual neurotic symptoms familiar to us. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. The ego represents what we call reason and sanity, in contrast to the ID which contains the passions. When we attempt to imagine death, we perceive ourselves as spectators. The aim of psychoanalysis is to relieve people of their neurotic unhappiness so that they can be normally unhappy.